Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Evan.
Yeah, so sorry for coming in 4 minutes late. We out and about, and so we were trying to figure out where to even have the Evan as to whether we should do that outside. There's a lot of noise because of where we are, and so yeah. But it's always good to come your way. And we've been talking about physical separation in marriages, right? And so when you join us, as usual, just shoot a hi, shoot a hello, and then we would bring you into the discussion. I see we have a couple of people join. Please send a hello or a hi, so we know you are here. I don't have all the stuff in here to track all the messages, but
I think
we're
I'll be
trying
able
to
to.
make do with it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can share that across. Yeah, so as usual, please go out there, share the feed, and tag me as well. Share the feed, let family and friends know that the guys are here again, trying to help us all have very good relationships. And so now, on the physical separation thing, last week we discussed about the impact on finances and all. Today we want to talk about the impact on your sex life, because sex is one big part of your relationship, right? And so if the parties are away, um, all the inventors have not yet found a way to develop remote sex, right? I mean, people do all sorts of stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that you really need people together physically to have sexual intimacy the right way, the way God created it, right? And so um, it really takes a heavy toll on that, right? Because think about it. Especially, I always feel for people who are like separated by borders and boundaries, and there are visa restrictions. You get it? That's a real critical issue because it, it makes you constrained. There is nothing you can do about it, right? Especially if you are not in a position to get a visa to whichever country your other spouse finds himself or herself in, and then and so what it ends up causing is people end up cheating on their spouses, and it breaks down the marriage itself. Like sometimes you hear people say that, okay, wherever you are, if you find someone good, marry the person, and these are real things that usually happen, right? So it takes a real heavy toll on it. And Prissy, I don't know if you have something in that regard. Let me see if you have any comments here.
Yeah, so people have people under their roofs, staying with them, and even that they are not satisfied. So imagine
Exactly.
when you are living separately and you are not able to engage intimately with your partner for
Yeah.
like a year or
Yeah.
two, some even 20 years
Correct. I
in
mean,
marriage.
those are the
I don't
very
even
absurd ones. I
at a
mean,
point it cannot be considered
a
marriage
marriage
any
and
longer
yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, you have been separated for close to 20 years and not see each
Yeah.
other. It's
Yeah.
I don't know how they manage. They must be supermen and women, but
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You raised a very good point. Even when these partners are together, right? Once in a while you have issues. Okay, one spouse would think that they are not getting enough intimacy, and sometimes maybe one of the partners might think that, oh, this one was not what exactly I was expecting. Like one way or the other, maybe the partner would not perform to the expectation of the other partner, right? And so it's not even like when you guys are together in one place, it even means sexual satisfaction in the first place, right? And so talking about if you go separate ways, I mean it's always a very tough one. And so, like I said last week, if it's within your means, if it is within your control, try your best not to be apart, right? Try your very possible best not to be apart. If it is out of your control, then try your possible best to meet up, like find ways to meet up. Like now, as we speak, we are in a different state from where I live and where Prissy lives, right? And but we are in a totally different state. We here doing something else, right? But at least we are together. Yep. And if that works, then it's fine. If all those don't work out, then it gets into the tough zone. And when I say tough zone, it means that getting that resolved will really take a heavy hit on you.
Mm-hmm.
It would either take a hit on you financially, emotionally, um, um, futuristically, and I'm saying that as I mean I'm just throwing a funny word out there, but what I mean is that it might take a hit on your future, right? So say you are in a country where one partner cannot come and you can also not come, because if you go out there you will lose your status or whatever. I don't see how you would stay 20 years away from a spouse and still consider that you are married to the person. You get what I mean? So really, if your marriage is really important to you, then you will need to take a hard decision. And again, like I said, it wouldn't just come easily, right? There would always be a consequence on another facet of your life. So this is reality, but we must find a way to make it work. It's always
So I
hard.
want to ask, what advice would you have for, sometimes people are about to travel and they are like, okay, because um I want to make things official before I go, knowing that they don't even have documentation. It's different when
Yeah,
you have a documentation and you know that I'm going, I can come back anytime.
right.
But then this is somebody who is now going to hustle.
Yeah.
Would you advise people to get married in that situation before they leave? Because I know of people who have been married to people like 7 years, 8 years, and since the wedding they left. Recently you heard
Yeah.
about a guy who came to school and was in debt and couldn't even complete, and had just married and came to school
Right.
and has to even run away from immigration and debt. So
Yeah.
there was no way the wife could come. There's no way that guy can go back.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I think it's a very dicey situation. I mean, that's why it's not an easy one for the person to solve. So, but this is what I think. And life happens, right? We usually we have little control over life. That's why we entrust everything into the hands of God, right? Because it's only God that has all the answers. But what I think is that if you're trying to go out there to hustle, right, go make a better life for yourself, this is what I really think. Number one, as much as it depends on you, try to do it together with your spouse. You get what I mean? As much as it depends on you, try to go out there, get out there, go hustle with your spouse. Now, if that doesn't work, what I think is that try as much as possible to have a situation where one of you can be mobile. So what I mean is that, okay, let's say that you are together with your spouse, and I wouldn't say that. So to give a simple answer to what you asked first, I wouldn't say that because of that don't marry, right? But so because I'm all for marriage, I'm all for stability, I'm all for people, really going together on this wonderful journey. Hey, Paul and Roxanne, good to have you. Now, but as much as it depends on you, try to do it together. So if it's a travel, apply for the visa together. Believe God to get um, all of you get sorted out. Now, secondly, if that wouldn't work, the next option is try to make sure that one person is always mobile or can be mobile. So don't be in a situation. So let's say the guy is in the States and the lady is in Ghana, or the lady is in Ghana, the guy is in the States, whichever way you look at it. At least don't get even if the one in Ghana cannot travel, don't get the one in the States in a situation where the person can also not move.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? Don't put yourself in a situation. So if you get yourself in a situation where the guy, the one in the US, for example, gets out of status and cannot travel, because if you travel out, it means you are not coming back forever, right? Mm-hmm. Then you create a very messy situation, and that's what happens to most people. Because one, the one local cannot travel. Yeah. Two, the one that is outside can used to be able to travel, but is now out of status, and so will not be able to travel out, right? So what you have to do is to ensure that at least one person is mobile. Yeah. That the only thing what that would do would be to put financial constraints on you, because if the person is flying from the States to Ghana, maybe a couple of thousands of dollars, but at least the person has the room to travel, right? Yeah. So, to answer your question, yes, if it, like, you really have an opportunity and you don't want to miss the opportunity and you don't want to miss your spouse as well, then try your best to go together. If it doesn't work, okay, go for the opportunity whilst you're working to get your spouse across. But don't lock yourself up. Don't go out of status. Don't stay longer than you can stay if you not make arrangements. Like if you are not in the process of getting a renewal. Because if you get into the process of renewal, then you are not deemed
an illegal.
Yeah, illegal. If you are in the process of like renewing whatever, then you are not illegal. That is fine. And even if you want to travel, they have arrangements you can do. But just to leave it and go out of status, then that is a lot of trouble. So Theophilus is the best couple in the world. Yeah, Theophilus is all about cheering us up. He's my boss and madam. Yeah, so I think it's very, very important, because you don't also want to lose like a good opportunity, and you don't also want to lose a good spouse to be, right? You see that, like, I wonder if I had to travel out before getting, and I did before we got married, only that I could move around. Yeah, exactly. Before we got married, I had to go work, yeah, in a different country, and yeah, it was good work. And so, I mean, why would I say I wouldn't go because of that, you know? So so Roxanne says, thank you, sir. Thank you to Roxanne. And then Sami says, I'm learning something. Yeah, we're also learning as well. Then Steven says, because I was trying to understand being mobile. Yeah, so what we meant by being mobile is that one person should always be able to move. You get it? Like, if you get yourself in a situation where you have visa issues or status issues and you can't move around, like, say someone is in the US. Usually, if you go for a US visa, usually
for
a visit, you shouldn't stay more than 6 months. Think about it. It's realistic. If you just say you're going to visit somewhere, why would you be there for more than 6 months, right? So if you stay, so you can get a 5-year visa, but the visa is only to let you into the country. So if you get a 5 years visa, you go in and you stay more than 6 months, you've shown intent to immigrate. So you become legally, they are watching you, because how do you visit a place for more than, don't you have anything to do at home, right? So what it means is that if you stay there for more than 6 months, they know you have intentions to stay in the country, right? So if you go back into Ghana, like your home country, and you want to get back into the US, although you have a 5-year visa, you will not be allowed into the country. Yeah, so that is it. So people knowing that they wouldn't even try to get out of the country till they regularize themselves, because they know that if they go back to their home country, there is no way they're coming back. And that's what we mean by get one person mobile.
Yeah.
So they get stuck. They will say they are waiting for their papers, because till you get a paper. Okay. And Courage is saying that nice to know these things. Yeah. Courage, I'm sure you know a lot more when it comes to travel. Yeah. Then Courage says that we came to visit, but the food was nice. Yeah, but if the food was nice, how do you eat the same food for 6 months? I mean, go back to your country and go eat your food and come back, right? Then Carrie says that I came to visit, but the food is nice, so I'm going to stay 5 months and 20 days and repeat again. Yeah, usually when you when you get into most countries, it's not the length of your visa that counts. It is the stamp you are given in your passport that speaks to how long you can stay in the country, right? And so let's say that there is a noisy van in the background, but you can scratch that. Now, if you get into a country and the border officer, patrol officer, customs and border patrol guy gives you 1 month, although you have a 5-year multiple entry visa, you shouldn't stay in the country more than the 1 month. And by rule of thumb, or usually, you are given a 6-month stamp, right? Yeah. So it means that legally, you are a visitor. They expect that within the 6 months, you should have done whatever you wanted. I mean,
but you can extend.
Yeah, you can extend.
You can extend, so, but it shouldn't expire before you extend.
Exactly. So legally, if you are in the process of extension, then you are not illegal, like, because you're actually in the process. You're waiting for them, right? Yeah. So we've been to countries where we've just been there for like 2 days or 3 days or something. So realistically, if you are there to visit, there will be no reason you stay there for 6 months. Or encourages case 5 months, 20 days,
sometimes right? Things happen. You can get to a country and accidentally you
get
fall
sick,
ill or something.
So
they send for you for medical
reasons, right? Yeah. But whatever happens, don't get into trouble with the law where you can't go out and come back, because you do that and you mess up your whole travel history and you mess up your marriage, I mean, as well, right? So basically try your best. So it's always been difficult for me, and that's why at the very onset when we got married, I tried my best to be traveling with my wife, right? Because it's always been a challenge for me to wrap my mind around why there are restrictions anyway. You get it? I mean, they are bad people, right? Yeah. So people will say they are going somewhere, they will never come back. Otherwise, we'll have the whole of Africa in the West, and then But there are people in the West who also want to come to Africa, right? So it's always been a challenge. So I was very happy when we could achieve that, where like any country there wouldn't be any restrictions, or you're going to Europe, anywhere, we just go together, because that thing it gives me a mental torture, right? Like if I think about people's situation, it's difficult for me, right, to think that, okay, husband is somewhere, wife cannot go there because of maybe the wife's economic situation, right? Goes for a visa, always gets bounced. It's painful for me. Like even when I think about it, it's a lot of pressure on my head for the people, right? So what the last thing you want to do is to be a contributor to that situation. don't contribute to that situation. If you are given a visa to stay for a number of days, please stay, come back, try again, go, and then don't complicate your life.
So I know that usually with the US embassy before, they could give you like 6 months initially.
Yeah.
They will test you when you come and you go. The next time they'll give you 5 years or 10 years. So when you get the opportunity, make sure you are in their good books.
Yeah, right.
And then after the first time, it's now a visa renewal. It's no long, you won't even go for interview again. So if you have that opportunity, I remember when I was going to Germany, how many weeks? They gave me 2 weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
the first time the first time
weeks.
you were going, you got 2 weeks.
I told them I wanted to stay 2 weeks. So they gave me exactly
strictly 2 weeks. And
when I got back, I came within 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
it's
you don't mar your
opportunities.
And
let me just state that this is not legal advice. This is not immigration advice, right? So don't do anything based on what we're saying and say that, oh, but you guys said it. Like what Prissy said, you can go to the embassy the first time, they give you 6 months, you go, come, and they will not give you again. I mean, so don't take this as an advice. We're just sharing, basic knowledge. We need to put that disclaimer out there. So someone goes to see us and say that, hey, but you guys said this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so hey, we're not saying, we're only sharing our experiences. There is a whole lot of experiences people have had in this world. We can only share ours, and that's all we come to do here. We are no experts. We only come and share our minds and then tell you, right? Yeah, so all we're saying is that all these things go a long way to mar your sexual life, right? And human beings are not wood, like people say. Okay, or like everyone knows. So you wouldn't want to put yourself or your spouse in a situation where they will be forced to do something.
Sometimes you set your spouse up to cheat.
Exactly.
You set them up. Imagine you have married somebody and been away for 10 years. How do you expect the person to cope?
Yeah.
So some of them, we can also blame ourselves. We are also factors.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So don't be a contributory factor to that. And if you are a spouse and your spouse has left you for 20 years, we are not saying that it's good to cheat. We are not saying that, but they even said it, so you go at no. All we're saying is that there is a way we can all make things easier for ourselves and for our spouses, right? And so whichever decision we're trying to take, let's look out for which of the options works best for everyone.
Even if you can meet halfway somewhere.
Yeah.
If your spouse cannot come to US,
the particular country,
maybe you can meet at the Caribbean
or Dubai.
We have
Bahamas is visa-free. Yeah. There are a number of them. Jamaica, Jamaica and Co. Yeah,
you can meet halfway and go by. At least you also get traveling experience.
Correct.
And then later on, she might get the visa.
Yeah. So
if you are, I think it's all about mobility.
Yeah, correct.
If you are mobile. That makes it
easier. Right. Yeah. So, so how long do you think? So Roxanne is asking, how long do you think this is best for your spouse to join you in the States, in case you didn't go together? Oh, if you ask me, go together in the first place. If you ask me, the best thing, try and go together. If you didn't go together, the best period, I think, is the next day. So all I'm saying is that it shouldn't.
Okay, so if it's school, you can go alone with school.
Yeah.
It is duration of status. So long as I'm a student, I am eligible to stay in legal status.
Yeah.
So even if I wanted to school, I came to do PhD.
Yeah.
2 years. I can say, okay, I'll do another. I came to do masters 2 years, PhD 5 years.
Yeah.
I can go and do another PhD 5 years.
If
so
you
long
were born
as
to school,
I am schooling, I am within status, and I can also apply for my family to join me.
Correct.
So that one is fine. So you have to find something that will keep you legal in the country. That one you can go alone. Make sure you later on you put your finances together and then be able to show that my spouse can join. But when you go on visits,
Mhm.
even visits for US, you can come on visit initially and then change to a
To be
visa
a
that would
student
allow you to
adjustment of
to
status. Yeah.
stay. So that one too isn't bad. But don't come on a visit and remain on visit and stay illegally.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, your spouse is locked somewhere. So
Yeah.
you have to consider all that before you move with a visit. If you want to later on be a student, you have to set all your plans.
Yeah.
Like put everything together before you get here.
Yeah.
And then you know that after visiting, I'm schooling, so
Yeah.
I will not get stranded.
Yeah. So with what Prissy said, to just add some details to it, we mentioned at first that when you get into the country, whatever duration that the border patrol officer gives you is how long you're eligible to stay in the country, regardless of how long your visa is. So, and she mentioned something. Let me explain that. When you are a student, they don't give you a specific date, a fixed date to leave the country. Why? Because even if it's a 4-year course, or it's a 3-year course, or 2 years, or 5 years, they know that not everyone has the academic prowess to finish within that period. So instead of giving you a certain period and then you go chase, blah, 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 what they actually do is to say that, okay, you are eligible to stay in the country till your schooling ends. So people actually take advantage of that loophole and say that
multiple masters.
They continue schooling till they die, right? Because you can
masters, 3 masters, 5 masters.
Because till you are no longer a student, you are eligible, you are in legal status, right? So people come, they do. So when you see someone called doctor, it might not just be because they like school or they are whatever. It might just be because they wanted to remain in status, right? Yeah. So Roxy, that's the answer to your question. Okay, so someone says, I see. Oh yeah, make I go get woman married. Okay, so you okay. Then Steven says, thank you, sir and madam. Then someone says, we'll go school, sir. Okay. Then you keep schooling all through your life, and then but I mean, there are better things to
there are
do with
better
your
things
life
you can do after school
than schooling. Yeah. So again, because of the toll it has on your sexual life, on your intimacy, don't try your best. Don't get into a prison. Don't let anything imprison you, any country imprison you and then you would end up in fact, it's worse than not being married, right? Because you are married, you've locked yourself up, you locked someone else up, the person cannot.
You don't know if you are married or single at that point.
You are hybrid. At that point, you are hybrid. You are both married and not married, right? And you don't really want to put yourself on
that
someone.
is the headache.
Yeah.
But do you think that if you two can agree to at a point have to go separate ways? Or because if I have stayed somewhere for 10-20 years and I don't see the end to,
it's
maybe there should be an agreement at some point that everybody should.
I mean, if you guys think it's not your whole life, you
have like
70 years.
You marry probably around age 30,
and
then
25.
you have like 40 years more that you expect to live.
And you are using 20 out
20,
of
30 years. Somebody is
separate,
staying somewhere. It means that your whole life you've stayed unmarried.
Yeah, you legally married, but practically unmarried, right? So. Yeah, so you want to really look at that. We'll still explore other areas that this physical separation brings us. We go back to getting busy out where we are. And thank you so much for joining us. If you think this is share-worthy, go out there and share with your family and friends. It might not apply to you, but it might apply to someone, a friend or family who is going through this same situation. And we're always happy to come your way every Saturday with episodes of The Evan separated, or wherever we are. So it's fun coming your way again this Saturday will still be on your screens next Saturday. Always remember that no two relationships are the same. Thanks, cheers, and bye for now.
Bye.